All right, so get this. We're going to deep dive into this research paper all about FramePainters, this AI that's doing some really cool stuff with image editing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Not just like your usual filters or effects.
Yeah.
We're talking next level stuff here.
Like for real.
So think about it, like editing your pics, but with the control of like, those really precise tools.
Right.
But with this crazy realism, even getting into some stuff that's kind of like fantastical almost.
It's definitely got people talking, especially researchers, and one of the things that's really interesting about it is how it uses video diffusion models.
Oh, interesting.
Not your typical text-to-image AI.
That is a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's break that down for a sec. Why is that such a big deal?
Okay, so
we all love those interactive editing tools, right? For like really specific tweaks and stuff. But sometimes, those AI edits can look a little artificial.
yeah.
And trying to teach an AI to make edits that look real, it's always been like this huge data problem, right?
Right. That's the challenge with the traditional methods.
Yeah.
Because they're trained on still images.
Oh, I see.
So they don't really get how objects move and change, in the real world.
Right.
It's like trying to learn to dance, but only looking at one photo.
Right, yeah.
You're missing like the whole flow,
All the nuances.
Exactly.
Okay, so FramePainter learns from videos.
Yes.
Now we're talking.
Yes.
Okay, that's got to be a game changer.
It really is, because video gives you so much more context.
Right.
It's not just one image. It's a whole sequence capturing all those dynamic changes.
Okay.
So the AI can learn about, light, shadows, movement,
Good stuff.
all those subtle details that make it look real.
So it's like, instead of just seeing a snapshot, it's learning the whole, like, I don't know, choreography of the scene, right?
That's a great way to put it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, but walk me through this. How does it actually work?
All right. So let's say you've got a picture of your dog taking a nap on a rug,
Okay.
and you want to move him over to the couch in the picture.
Right.
With FramePainter, that original pic is like the first frame of a video, right?
Gotcha.
So your edit, whether it's a sketch, a click, or a drag, that tells the AI how you want that scene to change.
So like guiding the dog from the rug to the couch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the AI uses all that knowledge from those training videos to generate like the second frame, which becomes your edited pic.
Oh, so it's almost like it's creating a tiny 2-frame animation with your original picture and your edit as like the keyframes, right? Yeah. It fills in the gaps, makes it look real.
Yeah, and underneath it all, it's powered by this thing called Stable Video Diffusion, SVD for short,
Okay.
which is a pre-trained video diffusion model.
Yeah.
So that's like the foundation for understanding how scenes change over time dynamically.
Right, right.
And then there's the smaller component called the control encoder,
The control encoder.
which basically takes your instructions, like your sketches, your clicks, translates them into actions that FramePainter can actually understand.
Okay, so the control encoder is kind of like the interpreter, bridging that gap between our human instructions
Exactly.
and the complex like language of AI, right?
Yeah, you got it.
So what about when you make like really big edits?
Okay.
Like if you moved your dog across the room, wouldn't the background get messed up?
Right. So that's where another really clever thing comes in.
Okay.
It's called matching attention.
Matching attention, all right.
And this is what helps FramePainter keep everything looking consistent, even with big changes.
Interesting.
Think of it like rearranging puzzle pieces.
Okay.
Matching attention helps the AI find the matching parts, even when things have shifted around.
So like keeps track of everything.
Pretty much. And it's all thanks to training with tracking data, which teaches it how objects move and how to make it all look, coherent.
Oh, wow. This is already sounding way more advanced than your average filter app. Okay, but does it actually like work?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of results are we talking about here?
The results are really something else.
Okay.
It beats other methods, even ones trained on way more data. And it does some things that are, well, unexpected.
Oh, give me an example. What's like the wow factor?
All right, so let's say you've got a picture of a car.
Okay. A car.
And you want to get rid of the side mirror.
Okay.
FramePainter will not only remove the mirror, but it'll also adjust the reflection in the car window, just like in real life.
Wow. No way. It's like thinking about those details that you wouldn't even consider. That's pretty impressive.
It is.
Okay. What else? What else can it do?
Well, you can actually turn a clownfish into something that looks more like a shark.
Okay, hold on. A shark-like clownfish. Now that's creative.
I know, right?
So it's not just mimicking reality. It's taking those editing concepts and kind of like pushing them further.
Yeah.
So like it can rearrange furniture in a living room,
Mm-hmm.
but it keeps like the lighting and shadows looking real.
Exactly.
And it can even handle like really complex edits, but with just a couple of sketches.
That's right.
That's crazy.
They actually did a study with real people, and everyone said they liked FramePainter's results the best.
Wow. So they weren't kidding when they called it FramePainter, huh? It's like really painting reality, but with a digital brush.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's got to be more to this story, right? This can't be all there is to it.
You're right. This is just the beginning.
Okay.
What's really exciting is that it's starting to do things that researchers call emergent capabilities.
Emergent capabilities. All right, now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
It means it's starting to do things that it wasn't specifically trained to do.
Okay, now we're talking like hidden superpowers and stuff, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Give me an example. Like what kind of superpowers are we talking about here?
Well, for one thing, it's becoming much more intuitive to use.
Oh, okay.
Like, just a single sketch can be enough to tell it to move an object. And remember those complex edits we talked about? It's handling those with, like, crazy precision.
So it's like more responsive, more in tune with what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about those capabilities that go beyond its training? Like the stuff it's never seen before?
Yeah, so here's the really wild part.
Yeah.
Researchers found that it can actually handle scenarios that it's never, ever seen in its training videos.
What? No way.
Yeah, like it can transform latte art into completely new designs.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Or even extend a bird's beak, even though it's never seen those things before.
Hold on, extending a bird's beak? That's incredible.
It is.
It's like we gave it the tools and now it's figuring out how to use them in ways we never even thought of.
Yeah.
It's not just editing anymore. It's like creating.
It really does feel that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like a glimpse into this future of AI where like the line between reality and imagination just gets, I don't know, blurrier.
Totally.
Okay, that's a lot to process. I'm already seeing a million possibilities here.
Yeah.
We'll get into all that in a bit. But first, let's take a step back and talk about what this actually means, you know?
He's right.
Stick with us. We'll be back in a flash.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing what it can already do. And, it's only been trained on a relatively small amount of data.
Right. Like, imagine what it could do with even more.
It's mind-boggling, really.
Totally. Feels like we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg here.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's, shift gears for a sec and talk about what this means for, everyday people.
Sure.
Like, are we all going to become, master digital artists overnight?
Maybe not masters, but definitely more empowered, I think.
Right.
If FramePainter can already do all this stuff, just think about what future versions will be capable of.
Okay. Yeah.
We could have tools that let us edit photos and videos with, insane precision, just using simple gestures or even voice commands.
Voice commands. Okay, now that's a game changer.
Right.
So, anyone could create amazing visual content, even if they don't have any technical skills.
Exactly. No more wrestling with complicated software or spending hours learning how to use all those fancy tools.
It'll be like magic.
It really will.
Okay, but it's not just about making things easier, right?
Right.
Like FramePainter kind of makes you think about what it even means to be creative.
It does.
If AI can create these super realistic edits, even stuff we haven't even imagined, what does that say about human artists?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is. Is AI going to be a collaborator? Or is it going to replace human artists altogether?
It's hard to say for sure, but I think it's more likely to be a partnership.
Okay.
AI can give us all these powerful tools and possibilities, but it's still up to us, the humans, to provide the creative vision, the emotional spark,
So it's like AI is giving us the instruments, but we're still the composers.
Exactly.
We decide what music to create. It's not replacing our creativity. It's just amplifying it.
I love that analogy.
Okay, cool. So besides the whole creative potential, are there any practical applications for FramePainter?
Oh, absolutely. Tons.
Like what?
Well, think about photography and film.
Oh, hey.
FramePainter could totally revolutionize post-production.
How so?
It can make it way easier and faster to edit and enhance visuals.
Okay.
Imagine removing unwanted objects from a scene.
Right.
Or changing the lighting, or even adjusting the composition, all without losing any quality.
That would be huge for filmmakers.
It would?
No more spending hours and hours on those tedious edits.
Exactly.
What about other fields?
Oh, there are tons.
Any examples?
Well, let's take e-commerce.
Okay.
Imagine being able to virtually try on clothes.
Oh, this
Or see how furniture would actually look in your home before you buy it.
Right.
FramePainter could create some really immersive and personalized shopping experiences.
I love that. No more buyer's remorse.
Exactly.
Because you weren't sure how that dress would actually look on you.
Right, but what about applications with a real-world impact, something a little more serious?
Okay, yeah, like what?
Well, think about medicine. FramePainter's precise editing could be incredibly valuable for medical imaging.
Really?
Yeah, doctors could use it to enhance scans, highlight specific areas, even simulate potential treatment outcomes.
Wow, that's like actually making a difference, potentially saving lives.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing how a tool designed for image editing could have such a profound impact on something like healthcare.
It really is.
And this is just the start. As the technology keeps developing, we're going to see even more groundbreaking applications.
It's crazy to think about all the possibilities.
It is.
Okay, but let's be real for a sec.
Sure.
There's got to be some challenges, some limitations. Right?
Of course, every new technology has its hurdles.
Right.
One of the biggest challenges for FramePainter and for other AI models like it is that they need massive amounts of high-quality training data.
Okay, so it's all about the quality of the data, like the ingredients.
Yeah, exactly. These models learn by analyzing patterns in the data they're fed.
Right.
So the more diverse and comprehensive the data is, the better the AI performs.
Okay, but with all the photos and videos we have online, isn't that enough?
Well, while it's true there's a ton of visual data out there, it's not all created equal. For FramePainter to really excel, it needs data that's not just vast in quantity, but also high in quality.
So it's got to be carefully selected, labeled, all that.
Exactly. It needs accurate labels and annotations.
So it's not just about feeding the AI anything. It's about giving it a really good diet, I guess.
Exactly. And getting that high-quality data can be really time-consuming and expensive.
Ah, I see. So it's like a bottleneck.
It is. We need more data to improve these AIs, but getting that data is a challenge in itself.
Right. It's like the chicken and the egg problem.
Exactly. But researchers are working on it.
Okay.
They're exploring ways to generate synthetic data, creating virtual environments to train AI models without relying solely on real-world data.
Synthetic data. That's interesting.
It is.
So it's like building a virtual gym for these AIs to train in, right?
Yeah, a place where they can push their limits without the constraints of the real world.
I like that analogy. Very cool.
And this approach could really speed up the development of AI models like FramePainter. It's really exciting.
So who knows what they'll be capable of in the future?
Exactly.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
Good.
We've talked about the tech behind FramePainter, its potential impact on like everything from art to healthcare.
Yeah.
And even the challenges and like ethical stuff we need to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, but I have one more question.
Sure.
Is this technology actually accessible to everyone? Or is it just for big tech companies and research labs?
That's a really important question. And the good news is that there's a growing movement towards making AI more accessible.
Okay, that's good.
Putting these powerful tools into the hands of more people.
Right, like democratizing AI.
Exactly.
Giving everyone a chance to be a part of this whole technological revolution.
I love that.
So are we seeing that with FramePainter?
We are. The research paper and the code are being made public.
Oh, that's cool.
So anyone with the technical know-how can access it and experiment with it.
So it's like sharing the recipe for a delicious cake.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone can try to bake it at home and like add their own twist.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. But what about those of us who aren't exactly coding wizards?
Right.
Will we be left out of the fun?
Not necessarily. As this technology develops further, we're likely to see more user-friendly interfaces and platforms that make AI-powered tools like FramePainter accessible to way more people.
Gotcha.
Imagine drag-and-drop interfaces, intuitive gestures, even voice commands that let anyone use AI without having to code.
AI for the people, by the people.
Exactly.
I like that.
That's a future I can get behind.
Me too. This deep dive into FramePainter has been amazing.
It has.
We've learned so much about video diffusion models and like all the potential they have.
Mm-hmm.
But before we wrap up, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on the future of FramePainter and like AI in general? What excites you the most about this tech?
What excites me most is the potential to empower people.
Okay.
Imagine a world where anyone, regardless of their skills or background, can use AI to create stunning visuals, express their ideas in ways they never thought possible.
Like giving everyone a magic wand.
Yeah, exactly.
A world where creativity is limitless.
That's a future I'm really looking forward to.
Me too.
And while we need to be mindful of the challenges and proceed with caution, I really believe that FramePainter and similar AI technologies have the potential to change the way we create, the way we communicate, the way we interact with the world in amazing ways.
That's inspiring. I love it.
Yeah,
Okay, well, it's been an amazing conversation.
it has.
Thanks for joining us today and sharing all your insights.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, keep those creative sparks flying.
Yes,
This is just the beginning of what AI can do.
it is.
So stay curious and keep exploring the possibilities.
Mhm.
Who knows what amazing things we'll be able to create together in the future. So before we let you go, I'm kind of curious about something. If we zoom out a bit from all this,
Okay.
what are some of the things you think people should be thinking about, as this technology keeps developing?
Right.
I mean, it all sounds pretty amazing, but are there any downsides?
Yeah.
Anything we should be watching out for?
That's a great question, and honestly, a really important one.
Yeah.
Any tool, even one as cool and powerful as FramePainter,
Mm-hmm.
it can be misused.
Right.
So it's definitely something we need to keep in mind.
So it's like a double-edged sword, right?
Exactly.
It can be used for amazing things, but it could also be used in ways that are, well, not so great.
It could, and the ability to manipulate images to make them look so real.
Right.
It brings up some big questions,
Yeah.
especially as this technology gets more and more widespread.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we use it, right?
Yeah.
Like, what rules and guidelines do we need to make sure it's used responsibly?
Exactly. It's a responsibility that falls on everyone involved. Researchers, developers, policymakers, we all need to work together
Right.
to make sure AI benefits everyone.
Sounds like there are no easy answers here,
No, it's a complex issue for sure.
but definitely something we need to keep talking about, especially as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
I agree. Those open and honest conversations are crucial.
Yeah, we got to be proactive.
We do.
All right, well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We started with the technical details of how FramePainter works.
Right.
Talked about its potential impact on, like, everything, from art to healthcare, and even touched on some of the, ethical considerations.
It's been a great deep dive.
It really has. This whole world of AI and image editing is just fascinating.
It is.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners?
Okay.
What do you want them to, walk away thinking about?
I think the main thing is AI isn't some far-off thing anymore.
Right.
It's here, it's now, and it's already changing our world in huge ways.
Yeah.
Tools like FramePainter, they give us a glimpse into this future where everyone can be creative and innovative.
I like that.
But we have to make sure we're using it responsibly, ethically, in a way that benefits all of us.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Good.
It's been awesome talking to you today. Thanks for sharing all this with us.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And to all our listeners, keep those creative sparks flying. This is just the beginning of what AI can do. So stay curious, explore the possibilities, and who knows what amazing things we'll create together in the future.